Welcome in another edition of the Dirt Racing Podcast. Let's get started.
Hello and welcome to another edition of the Dirt Racing Podcast during these tough times right now, as this is the only episode for April, like I mentioned. As you'll in a little bit hear Brady Bacon and Justin Grant. In other news, just to update what I've been doing, I've been watching a lot of YouTube and playing a lot of video games. I do have a Twitch channel. Just search for Marshall Haynes on Twitch to find it. Also, there's a new website to go look for if you're a fan of IMCA or type racing. CZ Results and News on Facebook is the place to go. And he also has a YouTube page as CZ Motorsports. And next weekend, the 8th and 9th, I will have an update. After the weekend, I go to Memphis, Missouri for some racing. Until then, we hope you all are safe and see you eventually at the racetrack. Welcome to guests of the show, Brady Bacon. How's it going, Brady?
Pretty good. We're just kind of trying to kill some time and get through this until racing starts again.
I just noticed you started the iRacing.
Yeah, I finally broke down. I never really had time to do it before, so we got a lot of time now. So I got a wheel and pedals and found a used gaming computer here close by, and been making a few laps.
Are you going to do the USAC races then for that?
Yes, we are.
And then
next one at Virtual Knoxville on Thursday, I believe.
So they're at Knoxville. The Outlaws are at Knoxville. It's a big place this week.
Yeah, pretty big. Virtual Knoxville's going to be busy, I guess.
Speaking of Knoxville, last year the state of Iowa was good to you on non-laying.
Yes, it was. Yeah, we were able to win the Corn Belt Nationals, the prelim night and the finale, as well as win the front row challenge, or the ultimate challenge there off the Lusto Terry McCall's race from the tail in the non-wing, and got us some pretty good bonus money there.
So once we get back going, I know you're coming to that for sure. What else?
Yeah, definitely. Just the full USAC sprint car schedule, and then we just kind of, everything else is kind of to be determined. Right now, we're planning on running the Knoxville Nationals, but just kind of have to see how the schedules change when we get back racing.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll have a lot of rescheduled dates.
So then probably outdoor you'll do the Let's Race 2 both?
Yeah, that was scheduled for May, which that one's going to be, a pretty close cutoff. So hopefully we're back racing by then. But that's the plan. We've only basically missed one so far race, USAC race, which would have been scheduled at Lawrenceburg this past Saturday. April, if we lose the whole month of April, which looks like we're going to, it's not really that big of a loss. We only raced twice in April last year with all the rain outs and stuff. So if we can get racing in May sometime, it'll kind of keep the race teams pretty much normal.
And are you going to do the BC 39 that you're a past winner of?
Yeah, that's the plan. We're planning to do that race as well.
Because that's a big weekend.
Midget schedule is going to be pretty limited, but that's definitely one on the list.
Yeah, and then can you explain when the last race we had was the Shamrock, the micro to fans that don't know about the cars?
They're very similar to a sprint car midget, except they are a 600cc motorcycle engine, and they're chain driven. The micro division, the engine's offset a little bit to the left, so your legs kind of go down like you would sit in a normal car, as opposed to sitting straight up and down like a sprint car or midget. But the shocks are the same. The way the cars work as far as adjustments and everything that are very similar to a sprint car or midget. So I grew up racing them and enjoy getting back and running them whenever I get a chance.
And then who was some of your heroes from Oklahoma back in the day?
Obviously my dad raced and was very successful in Oklahoma. Mike Peters ran the Trop Arctic 66 car a lot during my childhood. Andy Hillenberg is from Broken Arrow, same town as I'm from, so we kind of followed them around. Donnie Crawford was always really good at Tulsa Speedway. I think he's won, 11, 12 championships in the 410s at Tulsa Speedway. And then also, when the Outlaws came, I was always a big fan of Steve Kinzer, and then Stevie Smith always ran really well at Oklahoma City, so I remember cheering for him when I was young.
Yeah, and you talk about Oklahoma for the 80s and now, about from Dewey to Broken Arrow and on, there's a lot of good drivers in there.
Yeah, you got, Shane Stewart is from Bixby, Dan Pittman is from Owasso, Christopher Bell's from Norman, Oklahoma City area. So, I think having the strong micro tracks and community helps, develop some good young talent, and then they're able to go on and find success in the higher ranks.
And then there's some good ones in the midgets too.
Yeah, just the open wheel divisions kind of all intertwine a little bit, so usually success in one can translate to the other.
Yeah. And you're also throwed your hat in the promoter ring this year.
Yeah, that's our T-Town Midget Showdown scheduled for May 15th and 16th here at Port City Raceway in Tulsa, Oklahoma. So right now we're, full steam ahead, and hopefully we can make that race happen. If it happens, it'll be obviously one of the first races after the shutdown, so it should be really exciting.
Yeah, and then merchandise, explain a little bit about that if you're wanting to sell some.
Yeah, we do have all our merchandise available on our website, bradybacon.com. Obviously, that's our only form of income right now is online orders for that, so we appreciate everyone who's purchased merchandise, and we're getting it out as quick as we can, so that definitely helps support our family when people go online and buy that.
Yeah, and then what's your deal with the 69 this year? I know it's a Hoffman car, but you're more in charge?
It's been the same as it was last year. Unfortunately, lost Richard Hoffman last year, but our arrangement has stayed pretty much the same, except for the loss of Mean Green as our primary sponsor. So we did a lot of work over the winter and massaged on our cars a little bit, try to make it a little nicer and faster, and we went to Florida and won those nights. So hard work has paid off so far, and hopefully when we get back racing here, we can, pick up over that cost.
I know. So where did you start your racing career at?
I raced quarter midgets when I was young, and then worked up through the micro sprint ranks, and then started racing midgets and some 362 wheel sprint cars in Oklahoma when I was 15, and then Mike and Megan Eubanks from Telstar Technologies, kind of my first big car owners when we traveled around, and we started racing some USAC stuff in 2006. It's kind of when I got noticed, and we ran really well in a lot of our races that year for them, and kind of got a break there towards the end of the year and ran some for Keith Coons, and then ran for Casey Kane in 07 and 08. Then ran some ASCS stuff for a couple years, and then I've come back to the USAC ranks here the last several years.
Yeah. Did you happen to see on Knoxville the midget nationals they're showing again?
I didn't get to watch that.
They pulled a bunch of the old races trying to get through this.
Yeah, we did. I think 2006 was kind of that was my first big break, I guess. We ran second both nights at the Knoxville Midget Nationals, so that kind of helped get my name out there.
Yeah. And of course, you have your family with you always.
Yeah, she's gonna watch the T-shirt trailer, and the kids are in there with her, and we're all we're home, traveling up and down the road.
Yeah, and then is he going to one day want to race, the little boy?
He's pretty interested in it, so I'm sure he'll wind up racing something here before too long. We'll have to get him a go-kart or something to play around with first, and then see where it goes from there.
Because every time I see them, I just like to see them all the time, including the internet.
Yeah, he likes, he's got a little motorcycle he rides, and always plays with his race cars and stuff, so he's pretty into it.
Yeah. I appreciate your time. Hopefully we see you down the road.
Yeah, hopefully sooner rather than later.
Yeah, appreciate it, Brady. Thanks.
Yeah.
Bye. Once again, we'd like to thank Brady Bacon for this interview. Coming to the Southern Iowa Speedway on August the 10th, it's the 25th Annual Front Row Challenge, featuring 410 winged sprint cars and $20,000 to win. And the very next night, the Ultimate Challenge featuring 360s and non-wings. More information available at Oski Challenges, or calling 515-957-0020 today. Welcome, the guest right now, Justin Grant, with us on the show. How's it going, Justin?
Good. How are you doing?
Pretty good. Hopefully, May we get to go back to race.
Yeah. Hopefully sooner than later.
I noticed you've been doing some iRacing.
Yeah, we've been trying my hand at iRacing. It hasn't been going overly well to this point.
Did you do Saturday night's race?
Yeah, I did.
Well, there was some big.
Yeah, we didn't run very good. I think we got caught up in a crash in the heat race, and then got caught up in a crash in the C-main. So we were done pretty quick.
And then, can we go back to how was your race on your last race at Des Moines?
Yeah, in the midget, we were okay. We had some speed. We kind of same deal there. We got caught up in a couple crashes through the feature, but we were pretty good. We came from. I didn't get a lot of points. I started on the front row and won my heat race, and then started on the front row of the qualifier and got passed with. Was on the last lap there, and so we didn't have a ton of passing points. Started towards the back of the feature, and we got on the first lap of the feature, kind of a chain reaction deal into turn one, and we ended up caught in it. So into the tail, and we got back to seventh, and then I hit the backstretch wall there, and it cut the right front tire down. So we came in, put the right front tire on it, and it benched on axle and everything else. But I think we ended up running after it was all said and done, 10th or 11th, something like that. But we were pretty fast. Just pretty happy with the car. Just didn't quite work out for us.
And I know you're doing sprint cars. Are you doing Silver Crown as well?
Yeah. So we're on the full USAC sprint car schedule, the full USAC Silver Crown schedule, and we will run kind of a limited midget schedule. Just kind of some of the bigger paying races, or some of the races that we just feel like we want to run, but we're not going to do the whole tour.
And the BC 39's gotten bigger with the big announcement.
Yeah. So that's going to be really cool, and that's definitely a race that's on our list. So we're looking forward to doing that again this year.
And then I know one of the bigger sprint car races for non-wing is in July at Knoxville Raceway.
Yep. So excited to get back to Knoxville. We were fortunate to win there in 2017. So like to get back there and win another one. I really enjoy Knoxville, and I like all the big half miles and sprint cars. So it's always fun to get there, and it's always fun to be in Knoxville.
And do you race local tracks when you're not on tour?
We do, yeah. So I've always run, Gas City and Gas City, Lawrenceburg, and Kokomo have kind of been my, my local tracks that I'll run around here. They run Gas City's Friday night, Lawrenceburg Saturday night, and Kokomo Sunday night. Every now and then we'll hit a Bloomington on a Friday night or a Putnamville on a Saturday night. But anymore, we used to get to race a lot more local stuff, but with now running a lot of midget stuff, a lot of Silver Crown stuff, and USAC schedules have gotten bigger. It doesn't leave a lot of time for local races, so we still squeeze a few in, and I think I get to go to 10 or 15 local shows a year now, which is good. We hit most all the Kokomo races because they run on Sundays, and so they're able to kind of schedule around USAC stuff with a little more ease. But we won the Kokomo Track Championship this past year, and so yeah, we get to a fair bit of local races as well.
And then do you have gear for sale so if people want to support you?
Yeah. So the sprint car team, we run predominantly sprint car, so all the merchandise is sprint car based, and it all runs through the sprint car team, and you can get it all, find it all, check it all out at topmotorsports.com/store, I think. But if you just go to the Top Motorsports webpage, you can click your way there.
And then I seen you did a video recently where you talked about how you got into sport. Can you bring that up again?
Yeah. So I got into sport watching with my dad. He was a fan, and we watched. He's a NASCAR fan, and him and his buddies are good sprint car races now and then. And so I started watching stock cars on TV with him, and really liked it. So he started taking me with him and his friends to Placerville. And we would go and, watch the sprint cars on. We were there on Friday nights. I just loved every minute of it. And they wanted to race, and so I, hounded them forever. And they ended up, I think when I was 7, we got a quarter midget. And so started running that a little bit. And then getting more and more into the racing. And then we were at, the story I told was we were at Silver Dollar for, I believe it was Gold Cup we were there for. And I got to meet Jack Hodenshield, and my dad was already a Hodenshield fan, and I think he won that night. I'm not 100% sure, but I think he won that night. He went down to get his autograph, and he was, obviously a big line, and I was shy, and I kind of kept getting pushed out of the way. Well, he went and got a chair and sat me down next to him, made a point to kind of, let me be involved, and he talked to me while he was signing autographs, and it just, it really, man, that was a huge moment for me, and the fact that Jack was little like I was, or like I am, in California, all the sprint, for whatever reason, all the sprint car guys were big. They were real big guys, and as a little kid, you look like, oh man, that's what I want to do. And then I saw Jack, and he's little, and I'm little, I'm like, oh, I can do that. And then that really was kind of the moment where it's like, this is what I'm going to do for sure.
Yeah, and you also have a signed Hodenshield piece, right?
Oh yeah, but I've got lots of them. That's just one of them. But yeah, that one hangs on the door down at the shop, and we've got some die casts and some stuff that stay at home.
And then who was some of your heroes besides him?
So I was here with Jack. Dave Steele. I thought Dave Steele was pretty cool, and they would come to town with the USAC midget stuff. We went down, and I think I saw him the first time at Turkey Night, and he was actually driving a car that a kid I raced with, Dino Tomasi, owned, or his dad owned. And so I got to meet him, and he's another little guy, so I really liked him. Billy Barlow was a hero of mine once I kind of got into watching the USAC stuff and then the non-wing sprint cars, and Barlow was a big hero, and then getting to kind of move back to Indiana and race with him so much, and him and I have had some awesome races at Kokomo and some pretty good battles throughout the years, and so that's been really cool. I would have never dreamed when I was a kid watching him race that, man, I'll be throwing down with that guy one day. But it's worked out this far, and I'm pretty excited that it has, obviously.
Yeah, and then you mentioned your win at Knoxville. That was about the second time they came back, wasn't it, or the first time?
I think it was the first time they had been back since 2010. I was there in, no, was it 10 or 11? I think I was there in 10 and 11 running. And then they quit coming, and then they went back in 17.
I just remember, I always mark that race on my calendar because it's one of the better shows, especially for non-weighing.
Yeah. Non-weighing sprint cars on a big half mile are awfully cool, I think.
And then, are you going to try to do the night before the 500 on pavement or not?
I'm not sure. I haven't really explored that too heavily yet. We released a Silver Crown car in, I believe it's Cindy Springfield, or I might be misspeaking. It might be DeCoin. I think it's Springfield, though. It's Springfield. So the night before the 500 is the night of the Springfield day race with Silver Crown cars. So if I can make it, it would be kind of a tough jaunt to get back and do it. But if something good came up that I was excited about running, then it would, we could probably make it happen.
Then leading into my next question, have you ever done the Little 500?
So I ran a Little 500 for the first time last year, and I drove for Tom Brewer out of Fort Wayne, and it was fun. We ended up crashing out. I think around the lap 150, kind of I was going around the outside of one guy in a lap car, kind of come up out of the infield, and he moved up, and then I got squeezed in the fence. And but it was a lot of fun. I don't know that I'll do it again this year. It was pretty tough to do it right, with doing all of the other stuff that's going on that week. So I'm racing. So, every morning we were up there practicing and qualifying, and then at night in the afternoon I was hauling the mail to go race somewhere, and then driving back there the next morning. And it was pretty hard to do it all. And pavement isn't exactly my strong suit. I've definitely gotten a lot better with running the Silver Crown quite a lot, but it's a challenge for me, and I really enjoyed it. But it kind of, I think sometimes it might take away from the other things I'm trying to do that week. Yeah,
we appreciate your time today, and hopefully see you at Knoxville.
Yeah. Hopefully we're all there racing.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks for listening to another edition of the Racing Podcast.